I'll start. My name's Doug. Hi.
My name is Galen.
My name's Gabriel Robinson. 1/3 of Tact Luxe. Is that how we should do it? Like,
Also, we doing fractions.
yeah, we're doing like quarter pieces.
Yeah.
Since it's 3 that make up the triangle.
We got in business together because I was getting stuff from the bins, which is basically thrift bins where they sell stuff by the pound. And then I told my brother to start getting into estate sale stuff. And Doug actually already had a little shop going a few years back where he sold collectibles and some clothes and stuff as well. So we decided to kind of put it all together. And we decided to move back to Columbus and bring it here actually, because Gabe was living in Chicago and I was living in St. Louis at the time. And we come from a retail background in general, you know, so a lot of times people see us out working at stores and say, when are you guys gonna have your own store, you know? So linked up with our cousin who also, you know, had a store going at some time. So yeah, that's kind of how some of the main details of how we brought it together, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, my last one, we focused more on just events and pop-ups and things like that. But so more so the collectibles and clothes and shoes we sold more so on the back burner. But I definitely also wanted to do a business that could be the forefront of it, and who better to do it with the family.
Straight up.
Yeah, and like you're saying, we are family. This is my brother and this is my cousin. We've known each other our whole lives, you know. So we're 4 years apart, and me and Doug are 2 months apart, you know. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. They're the old heads.
I think it just all comes from nostalgia and your own personal experience when it really comes to what you're looking for, you know what I mean? But also you have to realize what's nostalgic to other people as well, you know? So with us, obviously, when you look back in the old days, anything when it comes to cartoons and the Marvel stuff is really hot right now, you know what I mean? Like the Marvel ending, like the old Marvel shirts that everybody used to get in the comic books and the cartoons back in the day. You just see one of those old pictures and it immediately takes you to a place to where it just resonates so, you know, so beautifully. So I mean, that's really what we drive on when we like look at things, you know what I mean? So when it comes to whole rap tees or like old, you know, like there's a Tone Loc shirt over there. Like I didn't even know I was a bigger fan of Tone Loc because I was until I saw that shirt. You know what I'm saying? So like that whole vibe is really what we just use when we collecting and curating our pieces.
I think it also comes from like excitement, because like the whole thing, like when you go to anybody's store who sells, you know, vintage, it's all about how they found it and where it like came about, you know what I mean? So being in like Chicago, me and my girl, we go to like a lot of estate sales, so you'd be in some old person's house and like digging through their closet and you get to find something that you didn't even know you were excited about, like shot like right up to Rockford, Illinois, and I'm like digging through this person's closet and I see this Burberry coat. I'm like, oh my god, this is got the inside lining and everything. I'm like, damn, like yo, how much is this? $30. Boom, like it's just like that. And or just like digging through, for my brother's sake, like digging through like some bins, you know, and like you're there for hours and hours, and then you finally see like that rap tee or like that tee. Like for us it'd be like my mom, she used to go like a ton of Tupac and Biggie like concerts. She would have like the t-shirts all the time, so like seeing
Waiting
something
to exhale.
Yeah, waiting to exhale and shit like that, and like seeing something that I used to see like my mom walking around in like the living room and stuff in is really dope, like at a random thrift store in Kentucky or wherever the case may be.
We basically strive to give people a feel like when they see something, they forgot they knew that they liked it. You know, they'll see a t-shirt and go, oh wow, like I didn't even realize that you guys had a comic book that I used to have, a t-shirt, you know, because like you said with Marvel shirts, we literally have in the packages the ones from the 80s and early 90s. You know, they're from comic book stores. You know, so we really strive to give people that feel when they see some of the stuff. You know, it'll be a shirt that they had when they were a kid, you know, and they're like, how do you actually have this dead stock? right now, you know, and the term dead stock means it actually hasn't been worn. But yeah, so we try to stay informed about the product as well. Besides the vintage stuff, we do the streetwear side of things and the luxury goods. When it comes to the streetwear, we try to specialize in black-owned streetwear companies. So we have the Pyre Moss stuff. We do the Off-White. We definitely do. You know, we do the Fear of God. You know,
We need some Telfair though.
You need the Telfair.
We need the line on the Telfair, man, for sure. Bringing that like old vibe back, you know, where we're at is across from the old Milk Bar. You know what I mean? Like people used to come down here, go to Milk Bar, go to Soul Classics, go to Brigade and things, and you know you see a lot more, you know, bigger companies buying up the block. You know, so it's nice to be able to be catty corner to Madison, which is black owned. We'll be here, 1178 North High, right across from Brewdog, and then you go right up the way and you got Deontay and then Soul Classics. So we want to like bring that culture back. You know, having it being black owned and not having like, you know, having kids from areas that are around here knowing that they can do it too. You know, we're exactly who they are. You know, you don't always have to shoot a basketball or rap. Like all those things are great. I love them all, but you can also be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, because I think like so many areas in Columbus have just been condemned to being like a corporate test market, you know what I mean? It's like a playground for those companies, whether it be restaurants, whether it be big bowling companies. So we're really trying to bring that just organic, you know, that organic just drip when it comes down to it back to the city, just being able to come down here and just, you know, see what you look like, curating pieces and the things that you're into, and just be able to just have that vibe back in high school like we used to do. 2009,
Yes.
we need 2009 back for sure.
All of
And
it.
one of the ways we're gonna, you know, bring back a lot of that feel is we're gonna have pop-ups like every couple of weeks with different local artists, you know, that'll come by and you know, they'll either have, you know, some of their art to display or, you know, some of their clothes to display, or, you know, some of the people that we already know, we've already set some stuff up with, you know, so we have some stuff lined up for that. So that's gonna be part of the way that we bring that feel. You know, we'll be doing stuff on Gallery Hop, you know, things like that. You know, we're just trying to have the whole feels together. We have the music videos playing in the store at the same time. You know, we got that feel going. So we're trying to bring a whole vibe to the whole thing.
Yeah. We're gonna be a soundboard for people who need a voice, straight up.
Yeah. You want to let Columbus, like its artistic side, really shine the way it really deserves to. You know what I mean? Because we're all here. There's so many artists here, and we're just not like a straight up medium to get that out. You know what I mean? So we're trying to just bring a certain type of culture to Columbus to where we can eventually be that. We're curators at heart as well. So, you know, every single piece that you see in here has a real story. Whether it's how we got it, whether it's the actual piece itself. So, I mean, we're definitely going to have, you know, exposés in the store that'll just give you little blurbs about where a piece came from, just to give you just a real knowledge into what it is, you know what I mean? But when it comes down to, for instance, if you look at that Gucci garment bag that we have somewhere in here, like that was like the thing that Dan started his whole empire with when it came down to the bootlegs. Because before, people don't know, like they didn't make clothes in the 80s. Like Louis Vuitton just made cases and bags. It really took Dapper Dan to go to get those bags and those garment bags that we go right now. Back just like this, because Louis Vuitton didn't have something that had you know, pliable fabric. You have to take one of these, make it up and make it for the hustlers in New York, because that's what they were demanding. You know what I mean? Made it for one guy. I forgot his name, but like they always call the guy the boy wonder in Harlem. You know, I just read his book, so I can't tell.
Let me spit all those facts out.
I just finished the last chapter. I love it. Dapper Dan inspires us crazy. So yeah, like Gucci garment bags like these, this is like, you know, where it really all started with it. And if you look at Gucci and Louis Vuitton where they are right now, that wouldn't have happened without him. So like, we want people to be able to walk in our store and feel just the bridge from where we were to where we're going, to where we are.
Facts.
Yeah. Now, I definitely think we want to represent artistic inclusivity. I think if everyone just has a place where they can come, and, you know, there were people that will work with them and let their art, let them convey their artistic vision, you know, and let them work with ours as well. Just having a place where you can really do that and have that playground, that's something that we really want to bring here so that it can spread across the city. You know, I mean, we need more and more murals outside of just High Street, outside of just downtown. Put some murals in the hood, you feel me? Like, put them all over this joint. Put up mural all over Eastern Mall, you're not doing shit with it anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
Straight up.
you know what I mean? Something that'll inspire everybody to be what they want to be inside.
I'd say what separates us from these places is this is something that we were already doing before we decided to put a store together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to manage a thrift store, that was damn near 10 years ago now. You know, and that's when I started selling stuff like on eBay and stuff like that, you know, and we were already into collecting some of these things before, you know, and we're trying to get back some of the pieces that we actually had when we were younger.
Straight up.
You know, so like, I mean, like being into polo and stuff, that's what we're doing right now, you know, like when we had some of the polo pieces that we had when we were in high school, right now, you know what I'm saying?
That, and like
people
being like ingratiated into the culture, you know what I mean? Like I remember when cats were buying t-shirts at the Jazz and Rib Fest, you know, and people having boutiques and getting the merch off like that, you know, like shirts that we've all probably disregarded and weren't really thinking about, like that give us, you know, hope or like empowerment. Like when you see like a Malcolm X t-shirt, that's something that you would have seen back in the day, you know, at a cookout, you know what I mean? Or like your uncle wearing it or something and you don't have it anymore, where somebody threw it away, or in a thrift store where we got it, you know what I mean? So,
or when we have our pop-ups, when some of our female friends come by, you know, we have some of the women's black empowerment shirts from the 90s that were really big back then. You know, so like we're trying to bring that back because that was something that we were used to seeing, you know, in the early 90s and everything. So, you know, like these are shirts that like, you know, his mom actually, you know, brought us one of the shirts that's from like classic football game, you know, whether it was like, you know, TSU versus this.
She has some Obama shirts and everything. She was like,
wow. I love finding like the HBCU like shirts, you know what I mean? It makes me like feel like I'm watching Different Strokes or something.
And at the end of the day, like bottom line
Different world, damn. Yo, take the Different Strokes pot out. It's like, damn, he ain't down at all.
When it comes down to it, directly to your question, like you just have to understand this is who we are. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Their parents like graduated from HBCU. You know what I mean? Like when it comes down to like wearing the social. And I mean, like in a lot of facets, like not nobody in particular, but I mean, like, you know, there have been so many situations in America, especially where they take our culture and sell it back to us.
Right.
You know, singing Tutti Frutti and selling it back to the butt. You know what I'm saying? Just selling it out there like it was there. You know what I mean? It's like it's been that sort of thing. So we're just collecting our own culture. We're curating it. We're giving it the meaning that it deserves.
And if you ask us about it, we can tell you about it as well. You know, some of these places you'll go to, they're selling it to you, but do they actually know about it? Like, were their parents at the concerts?
Their parents listen to this?
We have plans for multiple locations in the future. You know, we don't want to let people know what city we're going to next. You know what I'm saying?
That's how the world gets tried out. That's how the world gets tried out.
But definitely, we do have plans to do this in other cities, and we're going to do it in the same kind of areas when we go to other cities too. Like we're doing this here in Hyatt Fifth, you know, an area that has a lot of culture to it, an area that had a lot of the stuff that we were going to, like you said, in 2009, 2010. This is where we were hanging out anyway. You know, we're going to find those places in the other cities, the other city that we know about, you know, that we're close with, that we're going to go to, and do the same thing there. You know what I'm saying? We're going to try to recreate that same feeling because when it comes to a lot of the vintage stuff, it is regional, you know, because different concerts went to different cities, you know, and this one guy printed up, you know, 30 shirts to try and sell them off. You know, he was at the Prince show, you know, in 1999, so he printed all 30 shirts, and then, you know, it goes to the thrift store because him and his girlfriend got in an argument, and she throws it in there, and, you know, and we find it and pass through, you know, like that's how it goes sometimes, you know.
And no cap, bootleggers do it better sometimes.
That's on that.
And then a lot of the actual stuff, like you were saying, when it comes to the bootlegs, a lot of the stuff at the bootlegs, they end up getting inspired by the real companies, like you were saying before, you know, like with the Gucci stuff, you know, so.
Like literally the Gucci shirts that are just like the regular Gucci shirts with like that little square, you know, monogram, like those are the shirts from the 80s. I mean, it's the same exact design. It's just what it is.
I mean, to be 300, like one of my favorites is the like Snoop Doggy Dogg, like the doggy style like t-shirt. I used to love that one because it like had the comic book, and when we were going to, we used to go like down south all the time, and we'd be driving down that way, and I'd be sitting in the backseat like reading it and everything like that, and like my dad be playing it, even though it was explicit. You know, Pops was a DJ, put on anything, so like that. I would love to see that, and some ice creams. The all baby blue ones that have the money on them, because my brother actually got me those my freshman year in high school. So I came through with the ice creams on, some like academics jeans or whatever, and then like a purple polo with all the horses over it. Man, I was going stupid. So if I could find the ice creams.
You find out all over print polo, really?
I was trying to look it up on eBay. I didn't see that shit nowhere. Nowhere.
Yeah, like we talking about.
And that was just a little bust down Marshall's joint. So nobody liked those like, bro.
I mean, that happens a lot of times because, like, a lot of the shirts that were in Media Play and Hot Topic in 1999, you know, a lot of those band shirts would be like R.E.M. or whoever it may be, you know. Those are the shirts that people want right now, you know. So.
And it's so crazy because back in the day when like people had the bootlegs at the festivals, like nobody wanted them because they were knockoffs. So now it's like
that's why a lot of them be so clean. They be so clean, they ain't even wear it.
And I swear, when I was a kid, I was like, when the kids just can't go get your own clothes, so I'm like, yo, where'd they get that Tupac shirt? Mom, can we go to the mall and see it? Like, nah, they don't have that. Somebody made that, you know, in the basement, and they put it at the festival, and that's just, and that's one of the real things about the hunt, you know, you really have to go out there and find that stuff. It's not, you don't have like a, you know, like tracking to it, you can't see all the things this company was trying by this, like, no, it's just on the building, it's on whatever shirt, it's on all the room and all the names tag, you just gotta find it.
Yeah.
But to your question, I'd say for me, like, obviously, like, everyone was in Jordans and stuff back in the day, the whole nostalgia. I would say the first time somebody really just put, like, some Gucci on some Air Force Ones, it did something to me.
Yes! Oh, preach, brother,
I mean, I'm
preach.
still confused as why, like, Louis Vuitton and Gucci hasn't, like, seriously called up Nike, like, let's make it happen. The same one that used to be in every rapper's video, let's just make it.
That
One
and
from the Jadakiss Knock Yourself Out
bro,
video,
and like,
bro.
the canal,
pants,
all the little canal street joints. Like our mom, she used to go to New York, like during like Christmas time, and she would ask me and my brother like, "What y'all want?" Blah blah blah. And we had a little colored printer. We sent her like a little packet, like, "Yo, get us these Gucci's, get us these." She brought back my brother some Gucci Tims. You couldn't tell him shit.
Right.
You couldn't tell him shit. Oh my god, bro.
2000.
I'm telling you,
or something. When you ask me that, personally, like, these kind of Marvel shirts are the ones that I forgot existed when I was younger. So these are the ones that I get excited about. You know, it has all kind of characters on it. I mean, there's Deadpool on this shirt, Wolverine on this shirt, there's Jean Grey on this shirt. I mean, it's just all kind of people on here. I mean, like, when I see these, the ones that were actually in comic stores and stuff like that, when you see people walking around with them and you would actually forget that they exist. You know, you're like, oh snap, like, I didn't realize they actually made that shirt, you know?
Show that Excalibur. That one's like that's like
So this is an Excalibur shirt. Yeah, so it's got Kitty Pryde, Nightcrawler, Captain Marvel, not Captain Marvel, Captain Britain.
Like,
you know, it's Punisher sweatshirt from, let's say, 1990. Stuff like this, you know, is what I get excited about. Stuff I forgot existed when I was younger.
Right.
You know, but actually comes back around, you know?
I think we're more on the lane to where we would love to work with Nike. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
As far as like, we're not like a contract store. We're not gonna have like things for resale. Like things that we get mostly are found out in the wilderness, or whether we get them on that drop, just like anybody else. Like the harder to get pieces, the harder to get shoes on the head. But I mean, we would love to design a Nike shoe. Like,
reach out.
Yeah, but we're not gonna sell shoes like retail like that. We're not gonna, you know, sell like a pair of all white Air Force Ones, like, you know, get the Nike account where we can do that. I mean, you know, we could. I mean, there's other places that do that kind of stuff. But that's not how we do.
Right. And there's other brands like we're like more excited about that we would love to have like accounts with.
Right.
Like we said, Telfar, yo, Telfar, run that up all day. Something like that. Something that's more like close to home.
When we were at Complex Con, we saw a couple of vintage accounts that were there that were showing a lot of their stuff, you know, that were in the same vein as what we do. And that's something I didn't even think about doing, you know, but when I actually saw them there, it's like, oh, it's the same shit that we do. You know, I mean, we were just there getting stuff, you know, getting product for the store. I mean, they're selling stuff, you know, so that's definitely something we could be doing.
And that's something that we already do, you know what I mean? Just like in a sense of that's where like our excitement comes from, you know? Like going to like Complex Con and other fashion events, like we would have already been doing that if we didn't have the store anyway, just like out of being pure fans. But yeah, we're definitely going to be in and out of everything. Sure.
okay. Yeah.
Where's that? This is a good one. Baby Milo, Mila. Straight from the Lil Yachty's.
Yeah, we got this from a Grail sale, actually. This actually used to be a Lil Yachty's coat.
Like I was talking about this piece earlier, but like I didn't even know he had a shirt. But if y'all might know Tone Loc more for his acting and voiceover work. You know what I'm saying? He played the other baby daddy in Poetic Justice, legendary shit. You know what I mean? You know, he had the one hit wonder wild thing. You know what I mean? But like I feel like he was just so heavy in the culture. He was a voice in Fern Gully. Y'all remember Fern Gully? Yeah, that random cartoon first, like voice in Navy, like voice in Baby's kids. You know what I'm saying? So like.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Someone-
you ain't that
voiceovers.
real deep, raspy voice.
This MCM case is one of my favorite pieces here. MCM is a German luxury brand that isn't as popular as Louis Vuitton and Gucci, but back in the 80s, it was like just on their same level. And like we were talking about, we like Dapper Dan a lot, so a lot of times he would use MCM stuff to recreate pieces. And he had an MCM Jeep at one point in time. So when we get like old school 80s MCM pieces are always big and heavy in my book. So this piece here.
Stuff like this just takes you back. I remember watching old boxing matches with my pops, with Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, you know what I'm saying? Just all of man. I just saw this shirt and it just takes you back immediately. Just one of my favorite pieces as well. The resurgence of Nike SB is really something to behold right now. You know what I mean? It was like Jordan 1s have been crazy for a long time. They really got super hyped up around 2016, 17. And the Dunks just like, because they're kind of favorite. It's a similar silhouette. The Dunks just kind of came back and they're really crazy right now. But classics like these, De La Soul, like I don't know if you mess with De La Soul, you know what I'm saying, the whole, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Tribe Called Quest, all of them. So I mean, these were just some grills for me. Like they definitely are not my size. I wish they were. They might not be in the store for display, but you know what I mean. And then like as far as the newer hype stuff, these are Just Dons. You know what I mean? Air Forces. They just dropped during All-Star Week. These don't even have a retail price. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that you just had to be in Chicago during All-Star Weekend and just lucky enough to grab them. So I mean, we were able to catch a pair of these online for a nice price, and they're just going up by the day, just the rarity of them. I mean, the design of these is crazy, and like I mess with these so much because Just Don, like we're like on the same wavelength when it comes to the the luxury of them. Like, see that satin inside right there? Just satin inside, a nice tumble leather, nice solid color. You can just almost wear with anything in the world. These are my size, but I love my store, so
So like for me, like living in Chicago, it was cool to just like go to a random thrift store and just pull stuff out like never before worn, like NBA gear. Like they were wearing this after the championship, like there's pictures of Mike in it, never worn, for like $1, like finding the 3P joint. And it's cool because you like never know what's gonna move the needle with something, you know, like with the whole Last Dance coming out, you know, everybody's hyped on like Bulls wear, and this is stuff that I was already copping just like off the whim, you know what I mean? So it's really cool finding this stuff in the thrifts, like really deep diving and just like seeing things like old like single stitch starter, you know, and it's all about the repurposing it, you know, like too many people just buy fast fashion and it doesn't like hold up, and all these things that were like used to be made in America and made in like Taiwan and other like countries where they like took it serious, you know, like this stuff still holds up. Like somebody washed this a ton of times and it's still really nice, you know, some of it's like never worn, so it's real dope like being able to just find and like sift through like product and stuff like that for me.